Hi all! Welcome to my channel. My name is Gréta and I do sign-along videos, sign-by-sign tutorials and chronic illness related content. Today's video is in the latter category and will be all about what spoons have to do with chronic illnesses. I often refer to spoons in my everyday life, however I don't have the energy to explain what they actually mean. If a friend of yours sent this video to you, it's probably because they don't have enough spoons for it either. Don't worry, by the end of the video, you'll have a better understanding of what spoons mean. The spoon theory dates back to 2003, when Christine Miserandino was out with a friend who wanted to know what it was like to live with lupus. Not the symptoms or medications, but what it was actually like to live with it. If you don't know, lupus is an incurable disorder of the immune system, and it can cause symptoms such as chronic pain and fatigue, among other potentially even life-threatening outcomes. You can find out more about the disorder on Lupus UK's website, which I put a link to in the description below. When answering the question, Miserandino asked her friend to gather all the spoons on the table as they were in a cafe. They ended up having 12 spoons in total. Then she asked her friend to describe what her typical day looks like. Every time there was an energy requiring task, she took a spoon or more off of her. The spoons, therefore, were used as units of energy, and that's what their meaning is today as well. However, unlike with a yard or a meter, there is not an agreed measurement of energy that one spoon is. It differs from person to person, and because of that, the max number of spoons also varies from person to person. And if you have a condition such as lupus, fibromyalgia and POTS, which change from day to day, often you wake up and you can't predict how many spoons you have that day. In Miserandino's explanation, healthy people have an infinite number of spoons every day, and they can recharge those relatively easily. I'd like to think that healthy people just have so many spoons that they don't really need to think about it, but that's just my take. I found the spoon theory extremely useful, especially when my conditions got much worse, and I ended up having horrible POTS attacks every single day, as I was constantly overdoing it. Nowadays, I only actively count my spoons when I'm doing something that's out of the ordinary, as I planned my daily routine around my average number of spoons. But Greta, how do you know how much each activity costs? Amazing question, hypothetical subscriber. I shouldn't do that. I would love to tell you that I have a magic spreadsheet which you can use and then you will have an accurate breakdown. But the thing is, it varies from day to day, from person to person so much that there's just no such thing, and it's more like trial and error. That's why I said that I tailored my daily routine around my average number of max spoons rather than my max spoons, because it's not set in stone at all. However, there are loads of examples of spoon charts available on Pinterest, which you can use as a starting point. I would highly recommend for you to first try and find an activity or activities that you count as a single spoon. For me, that is getting out of bed in the morning. And compared to that, having a shower is 3 spoons. And if I wash my hair with the help of my shower stall, then that's an additional spoon. But I also have to count with things like the weather, which really affects my conditions. So you have to think about that too. It helps whenever you do an activity, you estimate the price and create your own price list, and make sure you save an extra spoon for a good night's sleep. You might also find it useful to reflect on the day and see how you feel after you've done all those things, and it can help you get an idea of what your spoonage is. For me, if I feel like, yeah, I'm tired, but if I had to do this again tomorrow, I wouldn't end up being horribly sick at the end of the day. That's when I know that I'm at the max of my spoons I could use. Sometimes it's not enough though, but at least I know that it ranges somewhere between 16 and 20 spoons. I'm not gonna lie, it will be really annoying in the beginning. You might suddenly realize how much less you can do without facing horrible consequences, but honestly, it is worth it. I'm not saying that I always use just the amount of spoons that I have every day. Sometimes I overdo it and I just need to pay for it the following few days. But at least I know that I'm making that conscious decision. But you should also make your family and friends aware that if you do stay out, if you do that thing, then you possibly will be feeling horribly the next few days. And even if you do your best to savor your spoons, sometimes it's just not enough and you physically can't be present for them, whether you're a spoonie or not. I hope you found this video useful and you have a better understanding of the spoon theory and how we need to think a lot about what we use our spoons for. If it is still hard to imagine what it's like in real life, Jessica Kagan-Forsard made an amazing video using Sims where she compares a healthy and a chronically ill Sims day, and I just found it really useful. So you can click the card above to watch that, but I also linked it in the description below. I would love to hear your spoon stories and see your spoon price list, all of which you can share with me in the comments below on Twitter and on Instagram. This Thursday, the Sign by Sign tutorial for Zendaya's Neverland is coming out. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye. And this is Winnie. Sorry if she's snoring during.